everyone, I'm Trisha Becker, Developer Relations Lead here at Niantic. In this video, we'll cover everything you need to know about scanning a location to create or improve VPS-activated Wayspots for our Lightship Visual Positioning System by generating and contributing scans. By the end of this video, you'll have successfully learned how to use the Niantic Wayfarer app to view, scan, test, and improve VPS-activated Wayspots. You'll also see how to use the app to create private scans for your own testing. Now, before we get started, let's cover 6 basic concepts about VPS and Wayspots that will come in handy while you're watching this video. First, let's talk about scans. These are 3D scans of a real-world object or location, typically created using a mobile device and app. In this case, using the Niantic Wayfarer app. Next, we're going to talk about VPS activation. Once a location has been adequately scanned, it becomes available for developers to build real-world experiences. End users are then able to localize their devices and interact with persistent AR content at any of these locations. Any such location is referred to as VPS-activated. Today, most VPS-activated locations are Wayspots because these are the locations where we have the most scanned data. So let's go over Wayspots. Niantic has used Wayspots for years to highlight real-world locations in our games, which are noteworthy and publicly accessible. These are generally geographic points of interest like a statue or a mural. Now, we're making some of these Wayspots VPS activated so that you can localize and persist AR content at these locations. Fourth, let's discuss private VPS locations. These are non-Wayspot locations that you can use to test VPS localization for your own development purposes. To create a private VPS active location, you'll use the Niantic Wayfarer app to submit a private scan of the location that you want to use. So keep in mind that private VPS locations are not added to Niantic's AR map of the world and are only for individual testing. The fifth concept is VPS coverage areas. These are geographic regions where Lightship VPS is available. Today, most VPS coverage areas are centered around VPS-activated Wayspots. And last but not least, we'll talk about VPS localization targets, which are real-world features that users target with their device to localize. Within the boundaries of a coverage area, there are typically 1 or more VPS localization targets. We've already covered these concepts as well as everything you'll need to know to create your first VPS project in our Getting Started with VPS video. You can also go over our VPS documentation in the Developers Portal. So let's start scanning. We'll start by installing the Niantic Wayfarer app. Now, keep in mind at the time of this video, production of this app is still in beta, so some features may change along the way. Before we do our first scan, I'll show you how to view Wayspots in the map view so that you can understand their spatial distribution. The app will allow you to view Wayspots within a square kilometer around you by tapping on Load Nearby Wayspots at the bottom of the map. The pink circle around your device location represents a 40-meter walking radius for reference. So zooming out will cluster Wayspots to declutter the map. The top button is a toggle to switch between Google Street-based map and Google Satellite-based map, and tapping on the VPS button will filter Wayspots, showing only VPS-activated ones if available. Tapping on it again will reset the filter to display all Wayspots. To view the details of a Wayspot, tap on the Wayspot marker on the map. The selected Wayspot marker will appear enlarged on this map. This will also load the Wayspot title, photos, and VPS activation status. Select other Wayspot markers on the map to view other Wayspots, or tap the X in the Details card to return to the default map view. To contribute to the coverage of Lightship VPS, you can submit scans at any Wayspot. So let's start scanning. There are 2 types of scans. One is the Wayspot scan that contributes to the public map, and the other is a private scan that only you have access to for testing purposes. The first thing we'll cover is how to upload a private scan to create a private VPS location that will help you prototype all of your AR experiences. Now remember that private scans are private, so these will not appear in the VPS coverage API. The private VPS location will only be visible to you and only localizable within apps that use an API key created with your lightship.dev developer account. To start collecting a private scan, first make sure you're on the default map view with no Wayspot marker selected. Let's tap Scan in the location card below the map to open up the camera view. Now let's tap on the Start button so that we can initiate our scan. Keep in mind that scans must be longer than 20 seconds to be saved to your device, and private scans should not exceed 60 seconds in length. You'll also have to make sure that you have at least 1 GB of available space on your device. While we're scanning, I'm going to give you some tips that will help you with the process. So stand about 5 feet from your target object that you wish to map and walk around it for 30 seconds to a minute while keeping the target in view. Remember to walk around the object and not just rotate around a single spot or wave the phone without actually moving. If the mesh that you're seeing live looks good, the 3D map constructed for VPS should be good too. Increasing the number of viewpoints the object is scanned from by moving around it will make localization better. Also, try to scan an area which isn't going to change much throughout the day. So constant lighting conditions, objects not moving around too much, things like that. For example, if you scan your desk with your laptop on it and then you remove the laptop while attempting a localization, then things might fail. So we recommend sticking with smallish areas for starters, something like a statue or a mural. You can also check our developers portal to go over best practices for private and public scans. Now that we've finished scanning, we're going to tap on the Stop button and our scan will automatically be saved on our device. Now we have to choose if our scan is public or private. In this case, we'll choose private and then hit Next. Note that individual private scan clips will not merge into a single map for VPS. Each private scan is treated as its own location, so try to capture the private location you're interested in within one 60-second scan. You'll see that the app will ask us if we want to upload our scan now or later. We recommend uploading it later so that you can review your scan one last time before doing so, and then double check that you've actually selected private rather than public. So let's upload later, hit Done, and then OK. Now we're going to tap the white back arrow to exit the camera view. To check our scan, we're going to go to Logbook. This section showcases the list of all of your pending scans. Now, let's tap on our scan on the list view so that we can see its details. If we tap on the thumbnail, we can open an interactive view of the pending mesh from our scan. In the scan details card, you'll see a list view of all min 20 seconds to max 60-second clips associated with a scan session. You can tap on Edit to delete or upload an individual scan clip. In the main list view of all of the pending scans, we can either upload all scans by tapping on Upload All, or upload an individual scan collection by tapping on the blue Upload button. I'm going to upload all of them. Now that we've uploaded our private scan, Niantic will activate your private location and generate a private 3D mesh of the location within 4 hours. The mesh is a 3D model of the private location generated from your private scan that can be used to help craft your AR experience. You can access and manage your private VPS locations through the lightship.dev portal, where you can check processing status, view generated meshes, and even delete scans. If you want to learn more about private scans, you can check our test meshes documentation in the developers portal. The Wayfarer app also allows you to test localization at any VPS-activated Wayspot. To do so, you can go to the VPS-activated Wayspots location and then tap on Test VPS. This will open up the camera view and you can point the camera to the Wayspot that you want to localize at. Here you're prompted with a message on top of the screen telling you the Wayspot location was detected and your localization succeeded. Now, note that the Wayfarer app only supports testing VPS at Wayspots today, not at private locations. So keep in mind that we're just getting started with VPS. If your app is having trouble localizing at a known Wayspot, it might be that the Wayspot doesn't have enough scans to be VPS activated. You can help improve the coverage of Lightship VPS by submitting additional scans of the Wayspot, even if it's already VPS activated. Tap on the Wayspot marker in the map and drag up the Wayspot details card. At the top of the card, we're going to tap on Scan and then start scanning just like we did when we were going over the steps to upload a private scan. Instead of using a private scan type, we're going to use a public one. For these ones, we also recommend that you select Upload Later. You can also create a scan from the default map view when a Wayspot marker is not selected. This method allows you to scan and then prompts you to associate your scan with a nearby Wayspot. We recommend you to make sure the Wayspot you associate your scan with is the Wayspot captured in your scan, so that the imagery you capture gets incorporated into the 3D map of the Wayspot. If you feel that a Wayspot doesn't meet Niantic's Wayspot criteria, you can tap on Report this Wayspot and select a reason why it shouldn't be in the map. We have an entire team here at Niantic that will help review all of your requests and take action to ensure that our Wayspots have correct and up-to-date information. That's it, folks. Now you can successfully scan for VPS using Niantic's Wayfarer app. If you're interested in knowing more about this feature, you can check our developers portal to find best practices for scanning, as well as a ton of other helpful documentation. So what's next? Well, join the Lightship community Discord so that you can discuss Lightship projects with other developers in our community. And finally, follow Lightship on Twitter and Instagram to see projects built with Lightship and stay in the know with updates to the platform. Happy building!